Hi friends, it's LlamaMamaKayla. Thank you for stopping by today. This week I am talking about feeding tube awareness. It is Feeding Tube Awareness Week, the 7th through the 11th for 2020 in February. And so I'm making some videos to bring awareness to feeding tube, some issues with feeding tube, some pros for feeding tube, and just different things, you know, because if you don't have a feeding tube, you don't know these things. And it's just to bring awareness, you know, like, because people might have thoughts like a feeding tube means like a death sentence, or a feeding tube might mean, you know, like low quality of life. And, you know, so I'm just trying to help answer questions, help give out information. So today is day 2. Yesterday I did a video for day 1 and talked about reasonings for feeding tubes and the reason I have one and the reason my son Elijah had one. So today I want to talk about insurance. I'm going to tell you some shocking news today about feeding tubes and insurance. And, excuse me, it is some very shocking news because you would have no idea that this is the way things are. Okay, so we have Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance. We pay a lot for that insurance. I mean, my husband gets paid bi-weekly, and so it is held out of his check, and it is a large amount. Every, you know, twice a month, we pay a large amount for Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance. Like, seriously. I don't know the exact amount that we pay, but it is a large amount. It is way more than, I just noticed my light was shining the other way. It is way more than you would want to pay for something and then something not be there when you need it. Okay, so what I mean by that is you pay on this insurance all this time. I mean, we've had Blue Cross Blue Shield for many, many years. We had Vantage about 20 years ago when Elijah was a baby. I do remember that. And then probably about 18 years ago, it was changed to Blue Cross Blue Shield. We've had the same insurance, you know. It's been consistent all these years. You pay in, you know, thankfully it's there when we need it. When we go to the hospital or whatever, we do have insurance. Okay, but so you're paying all these years on your insurance, you're bumping along, and you get sick and you have to have a feeding tube put in. Guess what? They will not help cover your formula. Most private insurances do not. Now, Medicaid does, but of course I don't have Medicaid. I have Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance. It will not. This is the formula I'm on. Isosource 1.5. It's by Nestle, and it is unflavored, so that means it tastes horrible. You cannot drink this. You do not even want to put this near your mouth. You want to put it in a tube to go through your stomach so you don't taste this, because you can't taste this. I need like 4 of these a day. Insurance won't pay. Nothing on it. Nothing at all. When I was in the hospital before, after I got my tube last year, the caseworker, you know, she tried and tried with the insurance. She was trying all the different things, having the doctors to write things and sending in. They wouldn't cover it. They just wouldn't. I mean, you know, they paid their part for me being in the hospital. Of course, we had our part, and they paid their part. And then for my feeding tube supplies that I get monthly, they've been paying their part, and I pay my part. Because my deductible was met. But now, since we started the new year, my deductible's not met, so now they don't pay anything on the feeding tube supplies, which are the pump rental for my feeding tube pump, the pole, my feeding tube bags, that the formula goes in. You pour this formula into a bag, and I'm going to show all that later in the week. Syringes. I have to have 2 different types of syringes. The 4x4 gauze, split gauze pad sponges, the tape, and just the cleaning supplies of it and all that kind of stuff. Insurance isn't covering any of that at this moment. After my humongous deductible is met, then they'll start paying a portion of that, and then I pay a portion. But they will not pay a penny on formula. So they will pay their portion to have a feeding tube placed in you, but they will not pay a penny for the formula that keeps you alive. That is very shocking news, isn't it? So, you know, most private insurances do not. You could check with your insurance just out of curiosity. If you have like your, I don't know what you call it, your booklet or information or whatever, and just see if they cover feeding tube formula. You know, to know that if you would be in that situation, would your insurance cover the formula? I don't know. You know, just all these years you're paying into this insurance, and you just assume that when something happens to you medically, that insurance is going to be there to help you out, right? It's not the case. Not at all. And we have tried everything. I'm serious. We have wrote letters, made phone calls. The caseworker made phone calls and letters, and she got my doctors to write letters. Nothing. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that awareness to you today. I know that you wouldn't have an idea that or know anything about that because you just assume insurance covers things, but it doesn't. And so that's very disappointing. Sorry, I lost my words. That's very disappointing because we pay a lot for that insurance. Okay, if I wasn't paying insurance, I could buy this formula. Right? I mean, the amount I'm paying into that insurance would buy a lot of formula. But no, I'm thankful for our insurance. I mean, you know, anytime we do have to go to the hospital, ER, you know, doctor's visits and stuff, I'm thankful that we do have insurance. I'm just being silly about that. You have to have the insurance to, you know, do all those things. But you just assume that it's going to help cover things, and it doesn't. But anyway, just some shocking information that I thought I would throw out there. I was trying to come up with what I was going to talk about each day, and I was missing some information there, and so I thought, well, let me just tell about insurance, because I'm sure you just assumed that my insurance was covering my supplies and formula, just as you would assume that it would cover yours if you was to have health issues and have to get a feeding tube. So anyway, guys, it's just crazy. Just crazy. I do want to mention this really quick because I know some of y'all are following along, you know, with all my videos, and you know the things that we've been going through and what's going on. But both my parents are in the hospital with COVID, and my mind is just all over the place. But I'm trying to carry on and do what I have said I was going to do this week, and get things done. But yeah, my parents are in the hospital, and my brother is about to bring their dogs. They have 2 dogs. About to bring their dogs to me so I can keep their dogs. And my dad's not doing good at all. He's pretty bad. And they're starting a new treatment on him, and they're hoping that he responds to that treatment. And basically, I guess they're saying it could go either way at this moment. So my mind's all over the place. But if you don't mind, do say a prayer for my parents, my mom and my dad. They're in the same hospital, and they're on the same floor. So anyway, I appreciate you all watching so very much, and I just appreciate the support you're showing me for while I expressed, Feeding Tube Awareness Week. Thank you guys so much. Bye, friends.